Good evening
Scared.
and welcome to tonight's chat. And tonight's a very special one because we've got some very special friends from the United States of America. Evening, guys.
Hey.
Hey. Hiya. So you'll know some of them, I'm quite sure. Rick and Mikey and Julie, we've met before. And we've also got April tonight as well joining us. And guys, you're going to tell us where you are.
Well,
Good.
right now we are sitting in room 306 at the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California.
Ooh.
Yes.
One of the most haunted buildings in America?
We've had a lot of amazing experiences here. We keep coming back. This is probably my fourth time back.
My third.
Yeah, and so it just draws us back to it. And Rick actually called a little while ago and said, "Hey, I want to go ghost hunting. Let's go to Glen Tavern." So we just booked a couple of the rooms, 306, 307, which we'll talk about, some experiences and things we had in here. But definitely this place has been on Ghost Adventures,
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters, I think, too, all over the place. So it's nice to have somewhere local with all this history and activity to come to and do a little, overnight investigation.
Yeah, and Sharon Osbourne had a little episode there last year as well, didn't she?
Yes, that was right down the hallway from us in the honeymoons. Right. She had quite the incident happen there, and So, and we've had a lot of experiences down there as well. So, all levels of this. There's 3 stories here in this inn, and my first time here, we had some activity down on the first floor. It used to be allegedly a brothel, gambling hall. The Hollywood stars have stayed here, things like that. They hear kids running around on the second floor, and of course, the third floor has got its own activity up here too. So the whole building is just full of history and plenty of paranormal experiences for all type of people that have been through here.
Yeah, sounds absolutely awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited to be here in the States, sharing one of our favorite haunted locations with you guys over there across the pond.
Yeah, we're going to need to try and do the opposite at some point as well. Definitely.
Yes.
When are you guys going to come across here and ghost hunt with us over here?
When we win the lottery.
Liam, you have to play the lottery, okay?
Yeah, I know. No, we'd love to come across. I'm sure we will. I mean, I know that Lynn and Colin, they were across recently. They actually visited Robert the Doll.
Oh.
And they got to do an investigation there, and a bit of a solo with Robert. And whatnot. Yeah, it was okay. Pretty cool. They did a Facebook Live and whatnot. So yeah, it was quite cool. So yeah, it's they do go out quite often. So maybe next time they can catch up with you guys, depending where they are.
Oh yeah, let us know, and we'd love to return the favor for sure.
Yeah,
it'd be fun to hang out with them.
Yeah. And you guys missing Scotland?
Every day of my life, Liam. Every day of my life.
You know what's funny, Liam? When I had that tour and I was getting everybody to come, and I said, "All right, I have to warn you about something." I said, "If you go to Scotland, you're going to want to go back."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
by the bug, my friend. Well, and it helps that all the hospitality that's over there. You guys make us feel right at home, and so that didn't hurt having you guys there, and everybody that took us under their wings and drove us around and fed us and everything else. So a big thank you to everyone that sheltered us and spoiled us when we were out there in June.
You're more than welcome. I think I speak for all the groups and individuals that looked after you while you were over here. It was a pleasure. It's really cool to hang out with folk that are basically the same passions, same interests. So yeah, and as you know, we love showing our country off. So anytime, guys, anytime. So April, have you been to Scotland? Sorry, Rick.
Not.
No.
going to go at least by 2026. That's the
Good
plan.
to hear.
In the car ride on the way over here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I did learn something when I was out with you, Liam, and that's not to sit on a tombstone.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Boy, that guy did not like that at all.
No, I've actually added that story into my ghost walk when I do that graveyard for my ghost walk now.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Kimberly was there. And you should see the look on her face when that was going off. It was like,
told me. I felt like he was a little rude.
he was there having my big butt sitting on his tombstone. That's for
He
sure.
was like, "Come on, man."
Yeah.
How disrespectful.
That's
I know.
it's crazy because after we got home, Liam, Rick said, "You know, guys, I think I'm done." And I said, "Done what?" And he said, "I think I'm done ghost hunting." And I said, "You're not done ghost hunting. What do you mean you're done ghost hunting?" He said, "No, really." He goes, "I've had, I don't know that I could top the experiences ever in my career moving forward that I had in Scotland this trip." And that incident in the graveyard being right there at the top of the list, because, you know, 50 years of doing this, he's seen a lot of stuff, but to have those types of things happen that so impactful, you know, where you feel like I can quit now. I've made it. I've seen it all. I've done it all. You know, these experiences are just why we do this. And he had multiple on this trip. So, but you're not done, right? You're not.
No,
He's
you
not.
can't be done. You can't be done.
Yeah.
Every day's a school day, as we say over here.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was some experience. I can't say I've ever had a ghost telling me off before.
Well, I told you in this room that one told me to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's after 10 o'clock. You're here. You're fine. I don't know. It's not decided it'd be 2 p.m., but you can swear away here.
Well, and I'm gonna. When
Scotland.
I came in here, I was talking to Calvin, the guy who'd been killed in this room, and I teased him a little bit, and he just went, "Fuck you." Right? And then Mikey got it on tape.
He's been cussed at quite a bit since we've been hanging out together.
And that was just by Julie.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, this one's slapping me around. That one's picking at me.
Yeah. Lindsay's saying there as well. I don't get told off. I just get sworn at. She does. Yeah. Yeah. Lindsay gets a lot of that as well.
Hi, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Why is that, do you think, Liam? Is it just because, I mean, that we're intruding the space, maybe, or why do you think? Just on the paranormal side of it, you know, looking at.
I think probably whoever it is was a grumpy sod in life and then a grumpy sod in death. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, I've always said to people, I don't think people change.
Right.
You know, they don't suddenly pass over. And I always gone about Adolf Hitler for some reason, but you know, Adolf Hitler doesn't suddenly become a nice guy because he's died. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rick said that before. He's like, you know, whenever you're going into a location, you just treat it like as if you've been invited over to somebody's house. You're not going to kick the door in and say, "Feed me." You know, you're going to knock and introduce yourself, and you know, just like treat them like they were people as if when they were here. So
yeah.
Is something? I feel like. Can I say something?
Yes, you can say something.
I feel like maybe those words are easiest for them to express too, because those are the words we don't think about when we're saying things. So maybe they don't take as much energy to share with us.
Well, I'll take a swear word. I'll take anything.
Oh, yeah, grunts.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it was common language, really, right?
You know what gets me is when somebody will sit there and they'll go to Transylvania and they'll be trying to get somebody from the 1400s and they're speaking in English.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't buy this.
Speak that language, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We've actually taken on a Gaelic speaker. Oh. So we now have a Gaelic speaker in the team. Hannah came out last night for the first time with us, and she didn't get a chance to speak in Gaelic at all. But but we'll be going over to the west coast of Scotland, where we've had experiences in the past where they only will communicate in Gaelic because that's the only language they spoke. They didn't speak English, and in fact, some spirits are very dubious and suspicious of people who speak English because of the history as well. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Rick. I think yeah, definitely. I think you have to be able to speak the language.
Well, you know what? That's the first time I'd ever thought about the fact that the spirits may be a little bit ticked off being Scottish spirits, hearing straight English being spoken, because they're not the best of friends. I mean, from back then.
No, not from back then, and it would have been, especially in the Highlands, there would have been a lot of people would be very, very dubious of English speakers, especially out with Inverness. So yeah, it's something that's fascinated me for years. And when we've ever had a guest who's a Gaelic speaker, we've always tried to use that, and we've had some good responses. But we use the rods a lot, and we were using the rods at a location, and it was just basically gobbledygook we were getting. We weren't getting any sense out of the rods at all. And there was, I think he was about 13, the boy, and he could speak Gaelic. So we asked him, would he ask some questions in Gaelic? He fired up some questions in Gaelic, and suddenly we're getting proper responses.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
and they still speak Gaelic currently, right? For certain parts of Scotland, there are people that
there's a big push to bring the language back. The language has been kind of dying out. It's not as common now as it was when I was a child. Well, that was a long time ago, but you would hear it in the streets of Inverness, people speaking in Gaelic. You don't hear Gaelic in Inverness now at all. All the road signs are in Gaelic, as you would have noticed when you were over here, just to confuse people. But there is a big push. There's Gaelic schools, and there's a lot of money being pushed in to try and ensure that the language survives. It was always kind of strongest in the Western Isles and Skye and places like that. But as I said, now that even Inverness has got a Gaelic school where you can go and be taught in Gaelic.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you said you were talking about the rods. I've been around a long, long time, and you and Claire get more off those dowsing rods than anybody I've ever seen. No,
I think Claire, yeah.
I just sit there and watch you guys. I'm like, holy crap, this is good.
Yeah, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's really, really interesting because we did Rate Castle with you guys, and actually at Rate, we didn't get much out of the rods. We got more out of the actual equipment. So it does vary, but yes, I mean Clava Cairns, obviously we went there, and the rods are always really effective at Clava. But yeah, it's cool, and yeah, Claire is really, really good. But Barry's getting better at it as well. Barry did a great session at the Battlefield Bar here at Culloden the other week. So we're all learning. And when I started, I was terrible with them. They wouldn't move at all and whatnot. It's just over time. It's just over time. I think we've covered that. I was just having a look at the questions there. Nicola was asking, do you think there is a universal language when in spirit? Well, I think we're saying we don't. Is that right, guys?
I think, like Rick was saying, if you're in Transylvania and you're speaking English, they're not going to understand you. I think for me, and this is just my opinion, anybody chime in, but as far as universal language goes, I may not be able to speak the same language as you, Liam, but if you're hurting, I know you're in pain. You don't have to tell me. If you're sad, I know you're sad. If you're happy, I know you're happy. So to me, it's more of a universal energy, and that's what we think spirits are, and paranormal things that are happening are energy. So I think universally we can pick up on that. As far as, walking into a location, you can feel like it's tense in there. You feel happy or at peace because of that relationship that we have with each other. But as far as, actual language, I think you guys are right when it comes to, I'm not going to go to Transylvania and try to get someone to respond to me because they have no idea. I'm just standing there going to them, and it's like, what's happening? So
I've always wondered.
Yeah. And that's just my opinion on it. I'm not. You know.
No, I mean, Murdoch, I'm just having a look here. He's basically said, wonder if it's more important to use body language, etc., rather than words. And yeah, I think, it probably is. And always be respectful, as I know you guys are as well. So, that's really, really important. Yeah,
And it can change at the same location too. Like it's for us here at Glen Tavern, we've come in and had peaceful energy feeling kind of a thing where it's just been happy. We had a great experience right across the hall on 307 one time. But if you go down to 308, there's been times where people have felt this heavy, darker, not dark, but just heavy sadness and anger kind of a thing. So it's not to say that I'm going to always go to this church and be happy in that church with the spirits. It just depends on what's going on at the time or what's around. I mean, that's the beauty of not knowing the paranormal, investigating it, because there's no script for it. You just got to go in and treat it as if it's the first time every time, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the location we were at last night, we know that in one of the buildings there is quite a maybe nasty, fair to say, nasty presence. Yet last night he didn't really come through. In fact, when the sort of numbers reduced and people left the building, it was a female spirit that came through last night that had never come through in that building before. So yeah, totally get that. I mean, hi Laurie. Laurie's saying their music's helped her to communicate as well. I know we've done that as well. Have you guys used music at all?
Well, I've been there when she has, because we go some with Lori quite a bit, and she likes to take out her speaker and play Elvis next to the REM pod. Mm-hmm. And as soon as she starts playing it, the REM pod starts going bam, bam, bam. So, and I like Elvis music, so it works out good.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, we've done it. We've done it a few times. In fact, we were using it last night because we'd success before. So the place we were at last night has connections with America. It was a U.S. Naval World War I hospital.
Oh, wow.
So when we've been there previously, we've played World War I American music. Yeah. And K2s go crazy. We're going crazy and things like that when we did that. And we're convinced that the main spirits that are actually in that building are Americans. Wow. It's a fascinating place. So yeah, definitely.
Well, you're talking about different languages and stuff. Ryan and Gregor and I went to Temple, which is formerly a Knights Templar temple, and they actually stayed there at the same time. And I always had the feeling that I had been there in a previous life. And I asked at the end, I said, have any of the three of us ever been here before? And it answered in French and went, de toi. So all three of us, it was saying, had been there before. So when responses in French, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we've had, when we were at the LAPD Museum down in the cells, we were using the spirit box one evening, and we were getting responses in Spanish. And one of the girls in the group spoke Spanish, and she was telling us what was being said. Now, that may have been because she was there and could speak Spanish, and that particular spirit felt like they could communicate to her specifically. I don't know if Rick or Gregor or Ryan speak French. But,
I knew he said 1, 2, 3.
So you know what I mean? So maybe going back to that language thing, like you were saying, it just depends on what they feel like too, right? We come in the room, like, oh, that one right there, I can say, whatever, and they'll get it. They'll hear me. So.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Laurence who speaks obviously French and speaks French, so we use that. And funnily enough, with Scottish Paranormal's Parabox app, we've actually had French come through at rate.
Wow.
As well. And as you know, rate is derate. It comes back to the Norman Knights, French Norman Knights. So there's lots of connections, and obviously what we call the Old Alliance was between Scotland and France. So there's always been lots of connections between those two countries as well. And I would imagine in America it's a bit of a melting pot with people coming from so many different countries. You know, I suppose in the early 19th century, 20th century, you could have Spanish, Mexican, you're going to have Irish, you're going to have the Scots, yeah, everybody. So,
well, and during that time too, a lot of those people that were coming in that did speak different languages were kind of teaching their children and everybody to speak English as well, right? So it was kind of English here was kind of a universal language, or I guess you could look at it as becoming that. Like everybody was learning to speak English. I'm just saying that because I had a patient the other day, or actually one of my coworkers. He's Hispanic, but he doesn't speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. His family, his parents don't speak Spanish because when their grandparents came over, they said, we're not going to talk to them in Spanish. We're going to teach them English. We want them to learn the English language here in America, to, you know, go out and work and be able to live the American dream. They need to know English. And so they don't speak it fluently, but you know, so for us communicating with different spirits at different locations, it may be that we could speak to someone who's French, but learned English when they came over here, and same, like you said, German, Russian, whatever, whoever, because it's a big, you know, melting pot here. Everybody's, you know, potentially, I'm not saying it's that way for everybody, but it's not uncommon that people coming over learn English, so I can feel comfortable not knowing Spanish on a location.
What did you just say?
Yeah. So
you know, when we were with you, Liam, when we went on the Ghost Hunts, the best thing that I saw the whole time I was there, Julie was on some of her first excursions, and I was walking through by myself in the cemetery before I sat on the poor tombstone and got chastised severely. But I was walking by myself, and I see Julie with her back to me. She's got a K2 meter. She's all by herself in this one corner, and I went, yeah, she's hooked. Try and get this one right here hooked now.
Yeah.
But you know what? They'll gang up and they'll both walk off and leave us. Me and Mikey will be standing there and go, what just happened?
We just got ghosted.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I'm sorry.
Beat that. Yeah, I mean, that place is really interesting because though I've been in the Chapel Yard here in Inverness, history dates back to about the 1100s with that place. I'd never investigated it until you guys came across. I'd never taken any kit in there or anything. I'd been thinking about doing it, but hadn't got around to it. So that night was the first time, as far as I know, it was the first time anybody had actually gone in and investigated it. I'm not aware of anybody going in and investigating this. So you guys were the first to actually investigate Chapel Yard. And it's got a fascinating history. I mean, I remember that gravestone that Julie you were standing in front of, and it was totally worn away. So we'll never know whose grave it was. It's almost heartbreaking because we'll never really know who it was.
And they even what was his name? I mean, Liam, you tried to look and see. You try to talk to somebody and see if we could see what the graves said, but there was no.
No, I've got a book that was compiled, I think, in 1990 for that graveyard, and even then that gravestone was blank. It was completely worn away. It's just a shame. Yeah.
But her K2 was just firing off there.
Yeah,
mine didn't go off at all until I sat on the tombstone.
Yeah.
And it said, "Get off, or I'll kill you." That was pretty interesting.
He's like, I don't like butts.
Yeah.
By
the way, Liam, do you remember when you took me to that one priory?
Bewley, yeah.
What we saw the very first thing we walked in the gate?
Yeah, McCallum.
There was a McCallum gravestone, the very first one.
Really?
They're everywhere.
Yeah, and
They're
Lori
everywhere.
just commented that every cemetery we went in, she found a Patterson.
Yeah. Well, Patterson's another good Scottish name. So yeah.
One place, the church that the guy bought, and we had lunch.
Yes.
There was a McCallum out there and there. There was a Patterson out there too that I spotted.
And a Thompson.
Yeah.
We're all we all need to go back home to Scotland, right?
Yeah.
Lindsay said the spirit told Rick, I don't like butts and I cannot lie.
Liam, should I tell him the story of that? Because people are just hearing it, but it's we walked about 9 miles and I've got really bad knees. And I was getting so tired and I was looking around for a place to sit and I could not find anything. My knees were giving out. And I looked down and there was a tombstone that looked like a bench. So I just said, I knew it wasn't a bench. I knew it was a tombstone. I just looked down and I said, look, I mean, no disrespect, but I can't walk another foot. I need to sit down. And I sat down. Now, my K2 had not gone off all night. I sat down instantly and went off 5 lights. And Kimberly, who was walking with me, she kind of jerks back. And I said, do you want me to get off? Bam, 5 lights again, instantly. And I went, I don't think I can get up. Can I? 30 seconds and I'll be able to get off. And it twinkled like a 3 for a little bit. And then all of a sudden it goes, bam, 5 lights again. I said, do it again right now and I'll get off. Boom, 5 lights. I said, okay. I mean, I've never had that kind of response. Just bam, bam, bam.
I said, get your booty off my grave.
Yeah. That's exactly what you said. Get your big ass off my tombstone.
Yeah.
Next time I go there, I'm going to go up and just put my hand on and say, hey, sorry, dude.
Make sure you have your K2 in the other hand, though. Just in case.
Well, I wanted Kimberly to write what she had seen because I'm writing book number 3, but I don't think she ever got the message.
I'll give a shout out and see if she can get back to you on it. Yeah. How's the book coming along?
It's going along good. I've got what's that guy's name? Ryan from Scottish Paranormal. I think he's
the guy off the telly.
Ryan
from the telly.
Ryan from the telly.
Ryan from the telly. Yeah.
And then Liam and Claire and Lindsay will all be in it.
Gregor's been on the telly too.
Gregor from the telly. Yeah, Gregor, I think is doing something that's from Germany.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's that's my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got stuff coming up too, Liam?
We've got HorrorCon, which is Inverness's first horror convention. So HorrorCon Scotland, the big one was in Glasgow today. They're doing one in Dundee and they're doing one in Inverness. So we got invited to the Inverness one.
Liam.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody that's actually has their own ghost hunting group who's been in 30 horror movies?
I do. Yeah, I've heard there is a guy.
He needs a booth. He needs a booth at the con.
You got to come to the horror con.
Yeah. You should definitely. If you're back in Scotland next year, hopefully it'll be. The thing is, HorrorCon's always around October, so they do the 3 events. It's a community kind of based one, so they invite groups like ourselves who are non-profit along. So we were asked to do this one. It's the first in Inverness, so really excited for that.
I've heard of Highland Paranormal.
So yeah, should be good. Scott's coming up from Paranormal History. I know, Rick, you're going to be on his show in a month's time or something.
In October, I think.
Yeah, I was on the telly.
Liam from the telly too.
Yeah. A certain horror director happened to be staying in a haunted hotel, and they needed somebody to talk about it, so they couldn't get anyone else. Or either that, I was the only one that would do it for free. So yeah, I was on the BBC.
Nice.
Talking.
That still counts.
Fancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've not my posters been in the post office. So
he lies. He was on Haunted Hospitals.
Okay,
it was a wanted poster.
It was a wanted poster.
Poster. Yeah.
You know what I got? Somebody asked me one time they said, you look familiar. Have you ever been on TV? I said, no. I said, I had my own TV show. And they said, really? I said, yeah, America's Least Wanted.
Yeah, but yeah, we're busy. We're busy over the Halloween period as we always are. So we've got a few events coming up as well. So have you guys got in apart from tonight? Obviously, have you got anything else planned?
Well,
we're thinking about it.
Yeah, we don't have anything in stone yet, per se.
Genius.
But we're always, the wheels are always spinning. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've had talks with some friends across the pond that are looking to come maybe this way and go to Waverly Hills next year. So there's talks about that, meeting up over there and different things, just because why not? I mean, but yeah, always ready to do some ghost hunting.
Cool. What's the weather like with you guys just now? Because obviously we're going into the kind of you guys call it the fall, autumn for us. So it's plummeting temperatures, rain, wind, snow.
We wish it was plummeting.
That sounds amazing.
It was Southern California. It's sunny and 76 degrees.
Yeah,
I wore a jacket.
Yeah, we're sweating.
Yeah.
Walking back.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, it was 113, 112. I mean, it was like.
Yeah.
No, it's too warm for me. It's just no.
Yeah, it's pretty smeltering.
When I was in Edinburgh, I got to be friends with the receptionist at the hotel, and I was walking out the door, and he goes, "Rick, where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going outside." He goes, "But it's 78 degrees in Fahrenheit." And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "It's so hot." And I went, "Dude, it's 100 degrees every day where I live." I told him I was going to go upstairs and put on a jumper.
A jumper.
Temperature, I keep my AC on.
Well, 2 years ago when we were out there in July, it got up to, I think, 105. And on the telly, they were telling everyone, stay indoors. This is the hottest it's ever been in the history of Scotland. And if you don't have to go out and stay in the air conditioning, I was like, this is...
They're not used to California.
Yeah, don't come out to Southern California.
It's 113, but it'll be worse tomorrow. So you're probably fine to go.
Yeah. When you can...
Well, when we went to Las Vegas, it was 120.
Yeah.
You can put your lunch on the dash of your car, and it'll be nice and hot by the time you.
Well, my friend's pants melted in her trunk.
Her pants.
Her pants.
Her
she
pants.
Had leather pants, and they melted.
Melted. Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's
different.
Funny.
So I'm looking forward to going back to Scotland.
It's cold.
I love it.
I'm trying to get this one to come with me.
I told you I'll go.
Yeah.
You and Kat, I'm going to go in 2026.
2026.
2026.
I'm old. I might not last that long.
You're going to be fine. We're going hiking every day.
You know what's so funny? I have nightmares about this girl because whenever we go hiking, like every 100 yards, hydrate. Hydrate.
It's good for you. Water is good for you.
Well, and everybody knows how much Rick likes drinking water. So,
yeah.
2 bottles on our head yesterday.
Actually, I don't drink anything but water, and I've had 2 iced teas in the last 3 months. That's it.
So
otherwise, all the way water. Because you guys used to yell at me to hydrate too.
I just scream it through the floor. Are you drinking water?
Hydrate.
Drink water.
Yeah.
You can't escape me.
You know what? That's
Lindsay says too many loose stops.
What's that, Liam? Oh, Lindsay.
Lindsay was saying too many loose stops for the drinking and water. She's also asking, very good question, have you got any plans to come across here next year?
Oh,
Well, Mikey would be there tomorrow if you could.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I'd rather be homeless in Scotland than working here in the States and trying to, you know what I mean? It just, I would enjoy that. But yeah, now that, well, like Rick said in the beginning, I tell people all the time, you're once you go, you're going to want to go back. I'd love to make it an annual thing. You know, that would be I don't need to see anywhere else. I'm fine. Yeah.
Well, I think I've been there 13 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and you're going to Ireland, aren't you, Rick?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a tour to Ireland.
Yeah.
And that's going to be September 1st through the 9th. And we're going to go to Hellfire Club. We're going to go to Lep Castle. We're going to go to the Giant Causeway. I mean, it should be really something good. So I'm looking forward to that. It's about half sold out already.
Oh,
And
awesome.
the nice thing about it, it's Mysterious Adventure Tours. They take payments. I mean, if you started paying now, you wouldn't even notice by the time the thing came around. You know, so Mysterious Adventure Tours next year. Come join us. Come join us.
How's your Irish, by the way?
That was it.
Yeah.
It's great.
I have hard enough time with English, Liam. I mean, come on.
No, Ireland. Ireland looks amazing. Obviously, it's strong connections with Scotland. Maybe in some places it's more traditional, even in Scotland. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how you get on there. Have you been to Ireland before, Rick, or is this your first visit?
Actually, I went over there with Ryan and Gregor and all those guys, and we went ghost hunting to a lot of places. Went to Hellfire Club, where I got some really cool stuff. I talked to a dead relative, and then we went to Leap Castle, where I just about went toes up, sitting out in the car. So yeah, I've been there. It was a very interesting country. Weird things I found out, that you had to have two different kinds of currency from the north and the south. Didn't know that. And the other thing is, we had like 12 of us, and we're all kind of big, burly looking guys. After we got done eating, the guy says, "Hey guys, don't go to the right, bad area." I was like, God, if they're going to attack 12 big, ugly dudes, I'm not going over there. I'm going this way. Thanks for the heads up, dude.
There's a big contrast between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland.
Well, I want to go to Kong. The city of Kong. Kong, that's where they filmed the what's the name of that famous movie I like? The Quiet Man.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually a movie night with the Quiet Man here coming up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys can come. I've got extra spots.
Do you have extra Tillamook ice cream?
Don't you talk about Tillamook.
Oh, okay.
It's all mine. Mine.
Your own ice cream.
So we got to get back over there and go with you guys again.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome anytime. As I said, it's the door is always open. So yeah, it's we'd love to have you back and take you further afield than Inverness.
I have a weird question for you. Have you ever gone back to that place that I used to stay, where your friend owned the place?
No, we haven't actually. It's obviously closed now. I was in it a couple of times after she passed, and what was really interesting, Rick, was that the entire atmosphere of the place had changed. So it was an extremely active house. There was lots going on in it. You saw things. I mean, we did open meets there, and like 5 people are telling me independently, we've just seen something coming down the stairs. It was so active, but the atmosphere completely changed after Susan passed. Now, Susan was a practicing witch. She was also she believed in magic. She believed in the fairies. If she went to a fairy site, she would leave some money and some food for them. That was the sort of person Susan was, and she was a great friend of the groups and of us personally, and supporting us. And we used to do our open meets and investigations there and all sorts. And I always loved the story about the fact that she was sitting, Rick, at the back of Touchwood, there's a massive big lawn, and there was a mist on the grass. It was just dusk, and Susan was actually sitting having a glass of wine with, I think it was a Belgian guest. And she turned around and said, "This is a good night for the little folk." The Belgian turned around and said, "Don't be stupid. You don't believe in that nonsense." And just after that, a little stone hit him on the shin.
Would have been higher, but that's as high as they could throw.
Yeah. So you don't mess with the fairies in Scotland.
Yeah.
You definitely don't. But yeah, no, that's
we investigated that house together, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some stuff going on in there too.
Yeah.
I missed that place. I mean, I I mean, I was paying £65 a night for that palace. I mean, it was ridiculous. I felt bad. I felt like giving her more money. Just, you know.
You got a good deal. You were getting a good deal. You were getting mates rates.
Mates rates. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, but
I know.
But they never sent me the mate. I kept leaving my door open.
But no, it was an amazing. As I said, amazing house. It's an amazing property.
We were sitting there one day, and one of them giant cats jumped on me, scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
These are tigers. They were like this big.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tigers.
They were huge.
Yeah. If we won the lottery, we would be buying the house. But yeah, as I said,
That house was something. I can't believe somebody had snapped it up already.
yeah, I'm sure it'll go. I'm sure it will. Somebody will pick it up. I mean, it was very popular place
And
for
she
people
took
to
the tire
stay.
back too. That back, all the stuff around there. That was a really nice looking place.
Yeah, and she basically took that house and she did the bulk of the work over the years on the house herself. So when she bought the house was in a bit of a state.
Oh, wow.
And she just slowly restored it to what we kind of saw in the end.
That was really something though. When I
Yeah.
first walked into my room, I thought I'd gone onto a different floor. It was so big. I was like, what? This is why I'm staying in here? I'm never leaving. And Susan said, yes, you are.
Yeah, that sounds like Susan. Yeah. Oh, there's Kat joining us as well.
Hey, girl, hey.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I really liked about investigating with everybody out there too was your passion for everything out there and the history that you tell along with the paranormal experiences that people have had over the years. But it's the actual history of the locations and the things that happen, like where you're standing right now, this, you know, and it just brings the whole thing to life. I mean, and then when you go in to do an investigation after or something like that, for me, I just think about like what was happening at this time, and it's, you know, like your passion for telling those stories and preserving the history, you know.
Yeah, we're very lucky. I mean, we have got so much history, and I know Julie's a big Outlander fans, and I'm big Jacobite. No, so it kind of works. In fact, Julie, I'm going to be doing a talk for Inverness Outlanders. I'm going to be doing a Jacobite ghost stories.
Ew, I'm gonna,
I'll
jump on. Like, when are we doing it? Let me see.
Get you in my calendar right now.
Yeah.
Save 2 seats wherever you're at.
Yeah, there's bloody Jacobite ghosts all over Inverness. It's absolutely insane the amount of people that have reported seeing Jacobite or Klansmen that, you know, in various places in Inverness. It kind of makes sense as well what went on after Culloden and whatnot, but it is crazy. But yeah, we are really lucky. And I mean, I did my ghost walk last week, and I had a lady came along who was a nurse, and she'd worked for years at one of the older hospitals in Inverness, and she told me a new ghost story. So it was like, yay, that's another one for me. So that's the other thing. People come and tell me stories. They tell me stories, and then I kind of capture them and make sure that they're not lost. So, you know, that's, you know, a ghost of a gentleman that's seen on the wards in the hospital, like he's at night, and they think he was a doctor. Yeah.
Spend a lot of their life there, I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great. It's and the history is important. It's trying to tick that box as well. I mean, the place we were at last night, there's an American president been there. Was it Teddy Roosevelt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had been at the pavilion on several occasions. As I said, U.S. Naval Hospital. Emily Pankhurst, who was basically led the suffragettes, so to get women's vote, she talked there. Ernest Shackleton, the explorer, he talked there. I mean, we're just so lucky. The Beatles turned up there.
Wow.
You know, they didn't play there. They were playing 10 minutes down the road to 17 people. And after 20 minutes, they were like, where is everybody? And somebody pipes up, they're all in Strathpeffer watching a local band. So they said, saw this, and they packed up and they all went to watch it. And apparently there was 1,700 people watching a local band in the pavilion.
Oh, wow.
9 months later, the Beatles broke. Yeah, but I mean, it's a cracking story. That the fact that they said to themselves, "No, we're rubbish. This is a waste of time. We'll just pack up and go to the other gig and watch it."
Wow.
So
I've heard.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
That was an Elvis fan.
And Elvis.
So we know who to play.
Pop, pop, a loop,
To get Rick's responses.
Yeah.
Dead yet.
Oh, I didn't mean tonight.
He said,
Bummer. Next thing they're going to take lotteries on what day I'm going to. Of course, you do notice that I am traveling with 2 nurses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Scott. I know that the movie Braveheart is not
A documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of that movie, I fell in love with. I was obsessed with learning about William and Robert the Bruce and the whole history of all of that. So, and to walk like Sterling is one of my favorite places, just because. I know. I said I didn't agree with it, but it got me going. Is what I'm saying. But being in
got you to where you were.
Yeah, or Falkirk and Sterling, and just when we went to the Wallace Monument and stood on the hill and looked down over everything, I'm like, man, these guys were here. Or
you should have watched Outlander with me.
Yeah.
Well, Scott is Paranormal History. They've actually tied up with they're doing the Wallace Trail just now on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually watch those videos on YouTube. They're really, really good, and they tell the real story of where William Wallace was and whatnot. So not the Mel Gibson version.
Not the Mel Gibson version, right?
But I do love the Mel Gibson version, even though it's total nonsense. I still love it.
Yeah.
Well, it was so strange. We did get to go to Bannockburn, and of all the places, none of us thought about the history of the battle that actually pretty much solidified everything for Scotland. It happened right there in Bannockburn. When Robert the Bruce walloped, what's his name, Cronin, I think his name was, and split his head open and killed him. That's pretty much saved Scotland from England. I think It was it's up there as one of Scotland's proudest moments is the Battle of Bannockburn. It's the one time we really did give England a total kick. Nobody says anything about Bannockburn.
Yeah, no offense to any English people watching tonight, by the way.
People, you started it.
Guess you can say that. You're not coming.
Yeah, I'm going to Scotland. Safe. I'm not stopping at England anytime soon.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my relatives was the Lord Mayor of London, and he was also one of the guys in Parliament. He got thrown out of both of them, and I know that Mikey had brought me the book about him.
Right.
Gotta love Ancestry.com.
Yeah, John Wilkes.
Yeah. Have you seen the statue? Susan's brought it up there. They did a statue of William Wallace, and it looks like Mel Gibson.
Oh no!
I will find a picture and send it. Total embarrassment. And Nicholas in there, Bruce's brother, was the last High King of Ireland. Yeah.
So you
Well,
just
well, you know something that was really weird that I found out. First off, I got lucky, and a person took me to William Wallace's cave, the one that's right near Roslyn. I
Right.
was real lucky enough to get in there. But everywhere I went,
Yes,
we go
I
to
agree. Laura.
everybody said nobody really knows what William Wallace looks like.
No.
How is that possible? His head was on a pole for a month. How could you not know what he looked like?
I know what he did
Okay.
look like. Mel Gibson.
Didn't look like. Well, they say he was like 6'7" to 7 foot tall because of the sword. And then other
The
people
sword,
say well, it's not really his sword. So they're just trying to confuse old Rick.
Yeah, there's a lot of artistic license taken with I think Scottish history. Well, not just Scottish history, but all history. But I think William Wallace was a hero in Scotland, but in England he was a savage and hated and did a lot of horrible things in England. So it is interesting. Yeah, but I've seen the sword, and I'm not convinced. He'd have to be some size to wield that sword in battle.
Oh, I saw it. I was picking my teeth with that sword. It's nothing. Yeah. Just kidding. It's huge. It's massive.
That actually looks like two swords were put together to me. I mean, it's doesn't look real,
Yeah.
But he was something. I mean, the thing that he concocted down in Stirling, him and what was the other guy's name? He got killed in the battle.
There was a Ross. I think he was a Ross. He was actually from up here.
No, there was another guy that got the credit. Him and were the two leaders of the groups that caught the English. Yeah, and he died like 3 months later after getting hit in the thing. But I mean, they really outsmarted the English, got them all to come across the way, burnt the bridge down so the other guys couldn't come over. And then they just whacked out all the ones that were on their side. So brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm reading Susan's comment.
Yeah.
We're all just quiet. We're really reading the comments. We're just like, yeah. Susan said when she was a wee, she lived in a village near Stirling with her folks around 4. She remembered driving near the Wallace Monument at night on the way home one night, and there was an old woman's silhouette on one of the windows. It was so weird. But she may have been dreaming. But I mean,
never know.
I'm just saying. I'll bring my stuff.
I'll say something, Mikey. The way you said we.
Did I nail it?
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it.
We practiced.
Yeah, I talk to all my coworkers like that now, and it drives them crazy. Yeah. Somebody asked for a ride, and I said, just throw it in the boot. And they're like, what?
Why are you so angry? They'll be saying, why are you so angry?
All right.
They're asking me questions. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I love it. I love the accent.
I like I.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know Ryan O'Neill, obviously.
Yeah.
When we were going to Ireland, we're driving, and he's talking. I'm in the front seat, he's in the back. And finally, I just turned around and said, will you speak English already? I mean, he had such an accent. I'm like, criminy.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that everywhere we went, all of you were like, okay, so for the Americans, we're talking slower. So they can understand what we're saying. It works. Thank you for doing that. It's very helpful.
The accents. I don't know in America if different states and that there are different areas of accents, but in Scotland, even though it's a wee country, there's so many different accents. So Lynn, who's our researcher, she lives in Aberdeenshire, and she actually speaks Doric, which is similar to Gaelic, but it's an East Coast. It's more English. She'll hate me for saying that, but it's more like English words. So you got, for woman you say quine, and for a boy you go a loon.
A loon.
Yeah. So you actually get public toilets over there where they actually don't have men and women written on it. It has quine and loon.
Oh wow.
So you've got that Glasgow, and I apologise to any Glaswegians on tonight. I struggle with the Glaswegian accent. I really do struggle at times with that one. So I'm sure your pain.
Yeah, well, Kat's watching, and she's got that Southern accent, so we understand the different parts, different accents.
Yeah,
things different.
Yeah.
Try getting a text and talk to somebody from Boston.
Oh yeah.
Forget it.
If Kat ever says "bless your heart," just let it happen.
right.
Yeah.
That's one of the ways of saying, "Get away from here! I'm going to kill you."
That's actually not nice.
So we get the same thing.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
As a Scot, I would say that sounds lovely. That's a compliment, you know.
Right, but what
Yeah.
she's really saying is,
If they call you sweetheart, you're in big trouble.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, there she is.
yeah.
It's lovely, Kat. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Run,
the
sweetheart.
other one is, "Isn't that nice?" You say something, "Oh, isn't that nice?"
Oh,
Like,
yeah. That's
no, they
nice.
didn't think
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Or as Kat would say, "Isn't that special?"
Or they say, "Ah, sugar." That means like,
Yeah.
"Oh, poor little thing.
Yeah.
She don't know anything."
Mikey, I'd be careful
Oh,
picking
honey.
on
No, I lived in Alabama too. I'm not picking. I'm just.
because you will
Kat,
see.
you know I
He's
love you, Kat.
remembering.
You will see Kat
I
again.
will see you again. I love your accent.
I love your
I love your
accent.
accent.
He knows all the things she said to him.
I know exactly what she means when she's talking.
It's adorable.
You
She
know,
could
Kat
narrate my life.
might remove your spleen. Might want to be nice.
Oh, Mark Wolbank, Mark. Oh, that's starting a fight.
Oh, Lord.
There they go.
Yeah.
Are we-
I was going to say Scott was saying to me, "Yeah, I'm Glaswegian. It's all right, Scott. I never understand the word you're saying, mate. I just nod and go, aye. Yeah,
That's what I'm doing. Just follow you around with my luggage, just smile and nod. And then,
Well, I like the Scottish. I've gone up to people and say, "Excuse me, do you know where this is?" And they'll go, "Yeah."
Okay.
Would you mind sharing with me?
they're very, you asked a question, asked and answered. I mean,
I do.
yeah.
I have to tell you something very funny about the Scottish people. I was walking along with Kat and Lori, and we were up on the mile, and they've got those cement pylons to keep the cars from pulling in. I'm looking up, I didn't see it, and I hit my shins on it, went straight over it and slammed on the ground on the other side. And I thought I died because I started levitating. And I was like, well, at least I'm going the right direction, right? And it was all the Scottish people that were right by the restaurant. They all ran over and grabbed me to lift me up. And I'm like, where am I going? They did. They lifted me completely off the ground.
Yeah. We're nice people most of the time.
Lovely.
All of us.
Lovely.
Fast and strong. I mean, I was like, bam. Whoop.
Yeah. Scott, there. Glaswegians have their own language. Nobody understands us.
Well, tonight I'm thinking that this one has some, April has some experiences because this is one of her first go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Lori's like an experienced person now.
Julie?
No, Lori.
Oh,
Julie.
Lori. Oh,
Yes,
Lori.
I just read Lori. No, Julie's an experienced person now. I mean, ever since I saw her with her K2 meter by herself, I said, yep.
She got bit by the bug.
She's hooked.
She got the bag.
Yeah, and in the museum whenever the K2 lit up.
Yeah.
I had her
So
throw it
Yeah, when we were,
I want this. Take this away.
Rick had asked her if she had her phone on or something because it was just staying pegged. And she was like, nothing up my sleeve. It's just going off. It's just, this is what we wanted, right? It's light up. It's happening right now. Oh, Lindsay.
I am my Elliot.
Yes.
Yeah.
How Lindsay says of your dog,
His
Rick.
part-time dog.
Yeah.
That's my part-time dog.
This is Elliot's part-time human.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told you Elliot was famous.
Yeah.
He's a good boy, but don't give him watermelon.
Yeah, we gave this dog watermelon the other day. He turned into like a crack addict. He was like
That's
jumping off the
insane.
walls, and I mean, it was amazing. He run around in circles.
Nice to meet you, Lindsay.
Oh, it's
How cute.
April from the telly.
April from the telly.
April from the telly. So yeah, Rick had this idea to just do like a spontaneous, quick run up to Glen Tavern, and we got 2 of the most active rooms booked. So we're gonna kind of bounce back and forth, I think, tonight, and see if we can stir up some conversation with Calvin again. And
Tell him what happened in that room.
yeah, well, Liam, you've what did you dig up on 307? Rose's room we were talking about earlier.
Rose's room. Rose was the lady of the night, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
She was the lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a wee read about that one, and also poor Calvin as well.
Poor Calvin. Yeah, the poker game.
Yeah, the poker game.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah,
he was.
Calvin was.
He's so
Yeah.
sweet.
There was a violent story of a murder in 7, and the body was put in the closet of that room, decapitated. And I'm just sharing the stories of what happened that's been going around for one of the things that happened here. Not to gross anybody out, and so we're going to be staying in that room tonight.
nice.
Yeah. And then down the hall in 308, which is the honeymoon suite, is where Sharon Osbourne had her experience. She ended up going to the hospital, and that was so there's, like I said earlier, there's been a lot of different investigators here. A lot of things have happened. I've had some beautiful experiences happen, some strange things happen. So I'm curious to see bringing April, who's she's not a newbie, but this is like the
I
first.
haven't investigated before. I've just had a lot of experience.
Yeah. Okay. So first investigation. Sometimes the first timers bring in the curiosity.
Initiation.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited to do it.
Exciting. Yeah, exciting. It just sounds like a fabulous location, and quite a few sinister stories.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah.
I want to see what happens with her, because the other day we were up in my apartment and I had seen a guy walk in my back bedroom while I was talking to Kat, and Kat heard somebody say 2 words, and then her and Elliot came, so I let them in.
You didn't when that happened. You were on the phone with Kat right when she said she heard somebody and you saw them. Elliot freaked out outside your front door.
Yeah, Elliot was barking, so we let him in, and then Elliot was kind of looking back there. So April and I walked to the back to see what was going on, and we got in this little alcove, and she stops, and the hair on her arms went doing.
Mind you, it was 113 degrees outside.
Oh.
Yeah, but she was not cold, no. But you could see the bumps and the things popped up where she was, something was affecting her.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I've been trying to affect her for years. It doesn't work. Just bam, one second, pow, there he is, right on the.
Well, I keep telling you we got to investigate your apartment.
I keep telling you to come over.
Oh, well, okay. So coming up, Liam.
Yeah, Rick's apartment.
Rick's apartment.
I will take the long journey all the way up the 20 stairs.
See, now that's a trooper. She's going to come up my 13 stairs.
I don't know. I think I might be able to.
She lives exactly below me. Right, her and the part-time dog.
Oh, there's 13 stairs.
Yes.
Up here?
Ooh.
There's 13 stairs on every place.
Yeah. It's not apartment 13 or apartment 666, is it?
No. That's
26.
Where's the 20? Yeah, I'm in 26.
26, not 666.
And 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 sixes.
Our
I'm
gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it work, Liam. Doesn't work.
You had a good shot at that.
And you know what's the funny thing? I've been on movies that were worse than that idea.
Why? I probably watched movies that are the worst.
I've been in some movies that were so bad they went straight to audio.
Oh.
I don't believe that. Yeah.
It's probably my fault. But yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. Looking forward to getting back over there with you guys again too, though.
Yeah, well, as I said, anytime, guys. Really, anytime.
Somebody said something about your sword
Barry.
flying off the wall.
Oh yes, Barry.
What about it?
Actually,
Somebody said something about your sword flying off the wall.
well,
Really?
Native
That's
American sites for me, I would say I haven't been to any specific sites, but I've had the pleasure of investigating with Native Americans that still speak the language. Actually, Vulture City, Arizona, there was a group that came there, and they set up a spirit box session like we would do in one of the rooms, but the Native American culture and the beliefs and the practices are different than like me walking into a room and investigating. And they were getting responses through the box in Native American language. And so they were translating. You could hear there was something coming through that I couldn't understand, but and then they started singing. And it's a whole nother spiritual experience, Barry. Like going to Scotland for me in paranormal investigating was a different experience altogether than being in the States and doing it, because of the history and the passion and everything that you got. You know what I mean? It's just different. And then being in the same room with Native Americans and watching them with their practices and their teachings and how they did things, it's a whole nother experience. I highly recommend, if you ever get an opportunity to investigate with somebody, to just sit and watch and learn and listen. And it's very emotional, it's a beautiful thing, so. But as far as being on sites, I almost feel like when I was back there with you guys, we don't investigate Culloden because it's sacred. We just don't do it, right? And the same with the American Native American locations. There's sacred land out here still, and I just feel, out of respect, you just don't go and do it. Or for me anyway, so it's kind of that same thing,
Yeah, totally get that. Sounds fascinating though. Absolutely fascinating. I'll quickly go back to this one.
Oh. Remember that one, Rick?
Yeah.
Can you tell them about the blood behind it?
No, actually, she has seen it. Mikey's seen it too.
Yeah.
This sword flew off the wall, went all the way across the room, and it's a big sword. And did you try and pull it down?
Well, I felt it. It's heavy.
Yeah, you can't get it off the wall because it's all earthquaked up.
I think it's in the studs.
Yeah, you actually have to lift it up to get it off. And it went completely across the room. And then I went over and picked it back up, and about a week later, I'm sitting there, and something looked like blood just started pouring out, like a streak of it, from underneath the thing. So a friend of mine who does special effects stuff, he comes over and he goes, "Wow, that really looks like blood." He touched it. He goes, "It feels like blood too." And he says, "Can I take the sword down?" I said, "Well, take the whole thing down." He takes it down. He looks behind. He goes, "There's nothing here that could cause that." And I was like, "Can I tell you?"
It also came back after they repainted our apartment.
Yeah, it did. They painted it, and then it showed up again.
Really? After the water thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
In case you guys didn't know, my roof caved in with me in it. Just missed me.
What a lovely day.
No, I don't want to say that I like this girl, because she just annoys me half the time.
Really annoying.
You see that? Nice of actually.
I accept it.
Yeah, but I must have pumped 100 gallons out of water so it didn't go down into her place.
Yeah.
Carol's got some shadows in her cottage too. Yeah. Yeah, that's not the first time Rick's had that happen.
What's that?
Just the shadows or seeing the figures in the apartment.
I have them in my apartment too, actually.
Oh. See, I'm curious to see if there's something with that land or that,
that building's been there since then.
Yeah. That
long time.
Well, I have to say that the first thing that was there that I saw was not a ghost. and made a point of saying it wasn't a ghost, and it scared the living crap out of me. And finally, that's a long story, so I don't want to take up all your time, but something made themselves known that they were there and they were on my side, which was really cool. And there was somebody else that saw what happened too. And when this thing came back, right, I was walking out of my bedroom and I heard in my ear, "He's back." Right now, this was something that was obviously demonic, right? And I don't say that easily. But after I just been told that I had friends to help me, I just started saying, "All right, you son of a bitch, you want to start playing this game? Come on out. You know I'm not alone. Let's go. Bring it." Right? I said, "Otherwise, get out and never come back." And I haven't had that guy come back in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So, but I mean, it was he scared the hell out of me the first time I saw him. And you know, it's funny. You see on these shows, people they'll ask me on different things too. They go, "Yeah, I think I have a demon in my apartment or in my house." I said, "You don't." They said, "Why? Why do you say this?" Because you said you think you do. I said, "If you really come across a demon, they're not nice. They'll get right in your face, and you'll know what they're doing." So
I told you mine doesn't feel bad. It's like weird.
Well, yours isn't a demon.
Interesting energy. I don't know. I had like little things around, and then I saw some white clouds.
Oh,
Some white mist.
Well, half the stuff that you feel is me pretending I'm coming down there.
Right.
sending
I'm coming down to visit you.
But I have a theory. See, if you're open to spirit is attracted to you.
Yeah.
It's like a beacon. You're a beacon of light to them. So we do so quite a few of the private cases we do is not centered around a haunting of the building. It's almost like the haunting of the person, because the person is actually spiritually open, and so spirit's drawn to them. And because they don't know they're spiritually open, they don't know how to control it and whatnot. So I wonder if with April, if there's a bit of that going on, that you are spiritually open, and therefore you're attracting them. And with Rick, I mean, I'm convinced, Rick, because you've been doing it for so long, of course you're spiritually open. I think you are as well.
Quite a bit of activity. I mean, it's
yeah.
So maybe tonight we'll get some. We're not using you as bait or anything.
I'm not.
per se.
I know I'm open. I've had a lot of experiences.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can answer some questions tonight with things that.
Or get some new ones.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
So between Julian and the redhead here, we'll see if we can get some new vibrations in there. See if they come play.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some exciting stuff we can share with you guys.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm just actually realized the time, guys, as well.
Yeah.
I'm fine if you guys are fine. Were you going to show us around a bit?
Let's go for a little walk down the hallway.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet. We just got here.
We just literally got here.
Let's look at
I'm gonna. So,
I'm gonna stay here and watch you guys. You can go.
Should I go? I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Mikey Cam.
Mikey. This is the Mikey Cam. Oh, hey guys.
You got it?
There I am.
Right.
And we switch over to the Mikey Cam. Oh, okay. So here we are in the hallway. I'm going to flip this around. You see the girls. This is the third floor of the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula. Rick is in 306. And Julie and I, if you watch the shows, and we'll be in 307.
Oh, show them the closet.
Yeah, look at 307. It's pretty cool place, and I don't want to show you the bathroom. Well, you know what? Let's just give you guys a tour. Oh, it's bright in here. It's a little sunroof, but this is the restroom and a big old jacuzzi style tub in here. And then as we walk into 307, we got a little step here. We had one of the most amazing experiences. Pardon my gear, but as you can see, we're kind of getting amped up for tonight. So I got stuff charging and whatnot. But this is 307, where allegedly the young lady was her life was taken and then put inside this closet. Is where they found her body. And I don't have a light in here to light it up for you guys. Sorry. But yeah, this is the closet of 307 where, oh, there we go. Thank you, Julie. And we have had, before past experiences, we've had people who've stayed in the room here have heard things happening inside the closet there, voices, but we had an amazing experience here not too long ago where it's a long story, but there were some mediums with us here that felt like there was a male presence in and it was kind of like a shy guy, and he was afraid to cross over, and so they were talking to him about that. And long story short, we got an EVP back that with a male voice that asked, "Will I be okay?" And it was in this room in 307, and it was clear as day, and we were all blown away by it. So excited to be here. I'll walk you down the hallway. There are other people here, so I'm going to be quiet. And but down here at the end of the hallway, in the corner, is the honeymoon suite 308. There are documented deaths that have happened here on this floor. So never a shortage of things to happen here, and we can't go into 308 unfortunately. But just so you guys can see, this is where Sharon Osbourne had her experience in the honeymoon suite here, and it's a pretty popular spot for paranormal investigators. But it's just a beautiful location, and I never get tired of coming back here. There's always something new that happens, and a lot of people say they feel like this is the Shining hotel kind of vibe as you're walking down the hallway here, waiting for the girls to come pedaling by on their bikes. But yeah, that's the Glen Tavern Inn. So wait, someone stepped into the hallway. Like this, like, oh wait, what? Well, I've got Rick in the hallway, and April and Julie.
You want to tell them what just happened?
Uh-oh, what just happened?
Sorry.
She just had a real, pretty intense reaction off the.
In our room?
From our closet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I think Liam.
Yeah, I opened the door and she was pretty intense.
Really? Well, maybe Liam's right. She's just sensitive and doesn't even know.
No, she's very
you know?
sensitive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Can people feel that from me walking in here, like on the show? I know that sometimes the mediums and the sensitives can get a sense of something just by, seeing the location or. No, I think you can see okay. I can't hear Liam. I don't know if my headphone died.
No, yeah, guys, I can hear you loud and clear.
So I guess, well, as you saw, April came in, just kind of walked in. She hadn't been in here yet, and had like an emotional, Yeah, from that.
Hope she's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what else happens. I hope she's okay to carry on. I don't, first time, I don't want her to get overwhelmed, but we'll talk her through it. So, I don't know. Do you guys get a feeling of anything from here? Does it have that creepy hotel vibe, or?
I think Eric, yeah, you mentioned The Shining, that corridor. Yeah, definitely. It's got a vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely got a vibe. So no, we're excited. I like I said, they're doing they're having a wedding reception. Someone got married across the street, and they're having a reception here. So I'd love to walk you through the entire lobby and show you everything, but I promised them I wouldn't interfere with any of the other guests. So, which is the right thing to do, right? but that just means we'll have to do this again, buddy. And
not a
you
problem.
know, yeah,
But really appreciate that walkthrough. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's just to get a little sneak peek and maybe pique your guys' interest enough to where we can actually get you guys out here to do some investigations with us.
We just kind of figured out.
I love that.
I was just talking to April, and I said, you know, went out the door, you were kind of crying and stuff. I said, did it really scare you? She goes, no, it wasn't me. She goes, it was her.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know who was her.
She didn't know the story. She came over and she goes, I said, what happened in there? She goes, yeah. And I said, where? I said, it happened in the closet. She goes, yeah, I went open the closet and all of a sudden.
It was like a wall just hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's.
So she didn't know about it. And then all of a sudden it hit her.
Yeah. Well, and that's how they explain it sometimes, like a wall or a veil, or you just pass through it and you kind of feel those emotions. But like Liam said, maybe you are sensitive and or a light, a beacon. You know?
There's no doubt she's sensitive.
Yeah.
I've had experiences, I know, but
This is pretty intense.
it was weird because doesn't feel like me.
Like almost like you feel what the other person was feeling, kind of a thing.
He said, are you fine? I was like, I'm fine. But like something was coming out.
Well, you remember when we were at the LAPD museum with Melissa, and she felt like, because you know they have the at the LAPD museum, Lee, and they have it's a museum now, but they still have evidence from unsolved crimes like Black Dahlia, Marilyn Monroe's, the Sharon Tate murders. There's still actual evidence in that building from those cases, and we've had, Melissa St. Hilaire was in there and had a similar experience to what April had, just from being around that the actual murder weapons and the actual clothes that they were wearing that day when that happened. And so some people just and which is, for me, I'm the tech guy. I love bringing in the gear and documenting that stuff. I'm not anywhere near to what some of these mediums and psychics. I mean, I feel things too, like everybody else. I get goosebumps or creeped out here and there, but to be able to work with people like that and have the equipment to document it too and verify what they're experiencing is really cool for me. So I hope April's okay and that she can go through that. I definitely don't want to make her feel pressured to do anything, but if she's able to, and we'll see if she has any other experiences. I'll have cameras rolling and gear going. So, but it seems like it's already starting. So, yeah. But I'm glad we were able to do this and give you a little sneak peek into one of the great haunted places here in the States, in Southern California.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Mikey. I will let you guys go.
Right.
And obviously, you can go and check up on April. Let us know how you get on tonight. And
see what she feels.
Yes, sir. We will definitely update you. And like I said, if anything pops up, I'll be messaging you and sending you clips if we get lucky enough to get some stuff. So
perfect. You stay safe, guys. Have a great night.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
again, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for having us on, Liam. Really, we miss
Always
you guys.
a pleasure.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Likewise, mate. Likewise.
All right.
Have a blast.
Say bye.
Speak soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
All right. Till the next one.
Till the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.